Hi, this is Reese from CreataCRM, and this is video 2 for maintenance service run. The first video covered the schedule once off that we had on video 1, where you pretty much create a site, create a service log, and then do a service run and then invoice from it. This one is going to be a bit more different. There's two parts to this video. One is that we want to do a schedule regular service intervals. That means is that you've got an agreed client that goes, can you please pick up my dumpster every month for 12 months, and they just agree to it. And with that, and you then add that to the service run, and you will want that reoccurring as you go through. With that, there brings two scenarios of invoicing that we want to talk about with service runs. What we find that you need to make a decision on is that some clients, they come into you and they say, look, we would like you to do a maintenance run once a month for our dumpster. Invoice us every quarter, and see how we go. Now, what happens is that you may not pick up that dumpster 3 times. You may only do it twice. So they only want you to invoice 2 out of 3 times because they obviously want to pay for what you pick up. So it's just different scenarios where they may say, look, we do maintenance run, but when we don't want you to do that maintenance run, therefore because you didn't do that maintenance run, please don't charge us. So that brings a problem where you can't do recurring invoices with that. You have to go back and check your logs and then invoice from the logs. So that's pretty cool, but you can do that. And the second one we're going to cover is a bit more easier for users, is that you've got a contract agreement for them to do a maintenance run, and because of that you're going to be invoicing them every month. So whatever you do, if you pick up or not pick up, you'll be invoicing them. So those two worlds kind of don't really work together. You just want to send the invoices in the background, and administration does their great job, and you have another system to do a service run, call them up, no, they're not ready, don't do it for that week. So the other two things that you need to do, so we'll go through those particular scenarios in the system. So what we're going to do is, to start off, we're going to go to the company itself, and we're going to click on the new site here. Now it's going to copy the primary address across, which is 12 Smith Street. You can, if you want to, change it, and it will make sense you will want to change it, for example, another address, because most times when you're doing service runs it's another location. If it's the same location, just keep it here for this occasion. I'm just going to copy and paste this across into the name, and that makes sense that when you can identify the site to be something different as the name, but for this occasion I'm going to just make it the name. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a service interval here. You click on the new button and click on service interval, and as I explained beforehand, I'm just going to put site. Now the next field I have is zone. That's going to help group service areas across as well. There's so many reasons why we have zones. One other area is that you can do pricing. So you can say that if you're in the Sydney zone, the prices will change a little bit because the zone's different, and pricing levels as well. We're going to have the product service as a 1.5 dumpster for you, and the next stage is we're going to talk about when we're going to start the service run. It's probably going to be, I'm just going to go the 2nd of July, and I'm going to go all the way to next year, 2012, July 2nd, and I'm going to do for every month between this month and this month. Hopefully that's 12 months. You never get it right, sometimes it goes to 13. And then I'm going to click on the just to go slowly, slow it down actually, is that I've created a service interval here. There is no log items that you have. So a service interval is just the recurrence, and you can have multiple recurrence for a site for different things. For one service log for a site for the dumpster, the next one for skip bins, the next one for something else. So you can have multiple service logs, so you can see a site on what servicings you have on different scenarios. Now the next thing you want to do on this service interval is to click on the Tools drop down menu and click on Generate Logs. It's going to pop up a screen on saying when do we start. We're going to generate until, and we're going to click on the end of the month and see how this goes to the 3rd of July. We're going to assign it to bill John's in here and generate the service run here. So that has created 13. I always get that wrong. So I've done one over because it's from here. And you can just simply click on and delete the last service run because it's a 12-month contract and we don't want 13. So the next thing we've done was done all the service intervals. Now we're going to go to maintenance plan, asset management system, and we're going to go to service logs to see those logs. What we want to do is we're going to click on the go to and see our open logs in the system here. Okay, so this occasion when we go to the open logs, we've still got stuff that's on the 4th or 3rd, so we haven't done this, but we're going to choose a date that we want. We're going to click on and choose, I'll look from what we had done beforehand, is the 2nd of July, and hit the enter key. And it will display all the service logs you've got due for this day. Now what you've got here is just a list of service logs that you want to do. So the next thing what you want to do is that we want to click on comments if you want to have a comment, and save and close. And you can see here you got a Brisbane one. You want to probably just simply I don't want to do Brisbane, that would be bad. So I'm going to click on the zones, and look, you can type in Bill, but Bill's the only one listed here, but you can go, you get the idea. Click on Bill to filter it out. Now here's the 3 that he's got to do for this day. So what we're going to do is we're going to go Tools, drop down menu, select all to select them, and then go Tools, drop down menu, create service run. Whoops, click it again. Now it'll convert a new service run. Pretty simple. It's got these strange ordering numbers that you have initially, but you can click on the up and downs and figure out what you got to do next. So Bondi is going to be the first one. Amsterdam Buildings and Bunnings Warehouse. Well, like, no, Bunnings should be the first because you probably want to get stuff from Bunnings while you're there. And you've done the run sheet here. The next thing you want to do is you can export it into Excel, or you can simply click on the report section over here. It's going to generate a report to print out as well, and that's nice to know for clients. They do want to print out sheet of the order, which is Bunnings first, Bondi next, and so forth. So we're going to close that. Now we do have other technologies to help people out, because sometimes it's better to have an app. We do have a mobile view. With the mobile phone view, it works on a mobile phone. So pretty much you can log on to Creator and you will actually get the this view itself. So if you can go into Bondi development in Paris, same thing, and you can see all the invoices. You can see all their tasks and different things. Now you may not want them to see everything. We'll go through that, but some people want to allow them to see, for example, when you're on the mobile phone, they can see the location of that place on their mobile, and they can get street directions. So that kind of helps out where if you're scheduling jobs for Bondi and he's got a sheet, he can go on his mobile phone and get street directions straight away, and it's really simple and it's low cost. There's no extra costs for you guys to have this technology, so it's really good for you to say, look, I want directions over here, and I'll look at the sheet and go to the mobile and just click on directions and then go from there. The other section is on the what's on is the service log. Now what this does is give him an app to see what he's got on here. So on the 2nd of July, he's got obviously Bondi Development Group, Bunnings Warehouse, and Amstrad. So he can go through and go past this, and go, and that's a PO box. So we're going to skip that and that. So what that's relevant to is the process 1 theory. So as you go back to the logbook entry in the system, you'll go through the current dates that you've got the filters here. You notice that there is no service logs that are for today for the Sydney zone. So as he's on the app, he's clearing his jobs real time, and that means you can see it. So that means is that 5 have passed, or 5 different have passed, and 1 has failed. So that's the one that is skipped in the system here. Oops, this one here, apologize, it's not failed, it's skipped. And see that he skipped it. Now that's important because of when you have to send invoices across, you may have a contract where they're going to go, well, I'm going to do past jobs or past service runs. So you only can watch out for the ones that they've ticked off as past to be invoiced. So you would go for select Bondi and both these guys, and we're going to invoice these two items. So we're going to click on the Tools drop-down menu in Invoice, and it's going to pop up screen. You're going to choose the product service it's related to and do one invoice per customer. Because it's the same customer, you can click on OK. Now here's the invoice here. You've got the two service runs here from description 12 Smith Street, and you've got the comments here. Now the comments is important if you want to push it to the memo field and the accounting systems that help you out. Now this person had 10% on, so it's 180 as well. So it's got $20 off the $200, and it's got two items in here. So that's relatively simple. Now that's the first scenario that you've got where you're invoicing the service runs for that client that you select in that time zone and all the jobs that you actually have done for that client. Now the other side of the fence is, I'm just going to do some magic here and just get rid of one of the items here. You can create a particular invoice that's already been done in the system, and you can create a recurring invoice from this. That means is that if you guaranteed income to have a monthly first on every Monday, end date is after 12 occurrence, you can create a recurring invoice for this particular invoice. And that means is that once you do, you're really splitting the two teams up, where we've got a contract for 12 months to do a job. It's going to be always picking up every week a 1.5 dumpster, and if the guys skip it, as you could see in the app, and say, then no, don't worry about it today, it will still be invoiced, and that makes it really easy. And you're just going to find when you go to the system here, so when you go into the sales section, and this is where the administration team will be worrying about, you go in invoices, and you would create a recurring invoice. So you go to the go-to section, and here's the open invoices that are open to be invoiced. But when you do recurring invoices, you've got repeating invoices that you can create that says, here's all my repeating invoices in the system that I've got in the system. And so when it ticks over for that month, it's going to go into the open drafts. So you've now automated your system, and you can see you can speed up your business straight away here, where you've got all these jobs. Now you're going to have the ability to not only handle the different scenarios that I'm going to show you here again on the screen. So the one that we covered to you, you've got the regular service intervals that you have on the site, and you can create service runs. The other one of invoicing is the pain and suffering that you have, is that you create logbooks, and you've got to manage what you do and then invoice accordingly when those clients are getting slightly difficult, saying only invoice for the ones that I do. And that happens in a lot of industries. Under the fire protection industries, it's like that. You know, the strata goes yes, no, yes, come, no, don't come, and then all of a sudden they've got to work out what they did do and work it in a piece of paper and log it, and it gets really messy, and we can solve that problem. And then you've got the one where, you know, you can do all the logs and do all the stuff, but you just got to invoice. And we handle it from all the way and give you the recurring invoices. Now, other systems can do that, like Xero and stuff, but this kind of helps you see what's going on and see what the invoices are, so you can actually see on the job and tie it to that site as well. So that helps out. So it really helps you in one system. So on video 2, that covers the other scenarios that you have. The first video was the once-off. Second video, this one here, is about creating service intervals and how you invoice. Hope that helps you with a lot of information. Please give us a call for more information on CreataCRM and asset site maintenance planning, and we'll chat soon. Thanks.